What's up guys? Today it's gonna be tricep and back workouts. As usual, every Saturday I do back and triceps. I switch between row focused and lat focused. As you guys know, or if you have watched all the other videos on Saturday, you know every week I switch between two row movements and two like pull movements, pull over or a pull down or pull up. But main factor is I pull something. I also do my deadlifts on leg day. I explained that in another video, but you can do them on back day, on a pull day, on back and triceps day. You can do them, but I don't really feel the benefit from not doing them on leg day. So I choose to do them on my leg day every time. So I'm just gonna focus today on my upper back as usual. I wanted to talk about something today, short little yap session about a topic. It's about being alone, because being alone doesn't mean you're lonely, doesn't mean you feel lonely. Because I used to play basketball at a high level for a long time, really long time in my life, until I was like 16 years old, and it's a team sport. You train together, you play together, you basically do everything together with your team. And then I quit. To sum up, the reason I quit, I was not happy. I wasn't happy anymore playing basketball, so I switched to cycling. Cycling is a sport who runs in my family. But the other part, I switched to cycling. Cycling is a very lonely sport. You train alone. In a race, yeah, you have teammates, but they don't help you. You still have to push the pedals alone. So what I'm trying to say is I switched from a very team-based sport to a very lonely sport. And that switch also meant that I had to make a switch on my mind from being with teammates all the time to training alone all the time. And by doing that, you also have to cut people off. That's the hard part, that's the hard truth. You have to cut people off, you have to learn how to be alone, but don't feel lonely. That's something very important, because if you are alone and you feel lonely, that's bad. That's a circle, that's a path you don't want to go, because you're gonna drag your own mind into something that you can hardly recover from. So what I'm trying to say is I lived on my own for a very long time. I don't live alone, I still live with my parents, but in my mind, in my sports, I was always alone. I trained alone, sometimes I trained with people, but not every time. But my mind was so focused on my goals, so focused on what I wanted to achieve, that being alone gave me peace. I know for some people that's hard to understand, but when you're constantly in an environment where you can fully focus on yourself, focus on your goals, focus on what you really want, not what other people want or expect from you, that's the sweet spot to achieve things you want. And I had like a little quote, not prepared, but I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and it basically sums up like every time we choose silence over honesty, we trade in connection to have control. And I know that the quote, it's not like a typical quote you guys have heard probably, but it basically means that every time we choose silence over honesty, so it basically means we choose ourselves over being honest to each other, saying no, I can't do this, I can't do this. Just choosing for yourself means you trade in a sort of connection with other people to focus on yourself, to have self-control. And the quote can go both ways. Can go really bad, can go really good. Because in my opinion, the quote basically sums up that I'm trying to focus on myself by cutting other people off. But it can always go like a little bit bad. Because if you cut too many people off, cut too many of the right people off, you're gonna be in an environment where you don't want to be. In a month or something, if you live alone for a month or something, train alone, be alone, eat alone, everything, then you're gonna feel like, yeah, I'm locked in, I'm doing this on my own, I can do this. But over a period of time, you're gonna feel lonely and not be lonely. And that's two separate things that you guys have to understand. Being alone, as I said, being alone and feeling alone is two different things. So when I say that if we choose silence over honesty, we trade in connection for control, I mean that basically you have to choose yourself in some situations so you can get a better outcome for yourself. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I know I'm not that big of a inspirational person, but I'm trying to give you an explanation about like my vision about being alone and feeling alone and training on your own. And from my perspective, I've trained so many times alone. I did so many things alone that I have such an experience about being alone but not feeling alone. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a insight about my vision, about my perspective about this topic. And now you can go really far into this topic, but the quote basically sums up my vision, and I explained the two ways you can see my quote, you can live my quote. But yeah, I think I've talked enough, so let's get into the workout. We're gonna start with some lat pull down. So see you guys in the gym.
Verlieren wij deze dat ze gaan beginnen. Nou, daar beginnen met de eerste acht en dan komen we naar de terug de volgende acht. En dan hier te zwaaien zitten al 2 meters alweer.
I'm now gonna do a set of triceps. I think I'm gonna do skull crusher just as last. I want to try like the overhead extensions again on the cable stack, but I don't have my shoulders ready for that. Ja, dat is dus ook als
Hier. 5. Hier. Leg maar achteraan zetten. Niemand meer in de weg lopen.
This is one of those machines that you rarely see in a gym. It's a pullover machine. It's very old school. The date of the machine is 96, so it's almost 10 years older than me. It's a very good exercise. Last week I did the pullover. No, 2 weeks ago I did the lat pullover with the short handles. Tight squeeze on the cable stack. It's not basically the same, but it's the same movement. Just a pull over. With this one, your body is fixed. You're literally in a seat, more stable. You can put way more focus on the squeezing part because your body is not pulled forward or is not being pulled by the cable because it's with a weight stack. I really like this exercise. I don't do it very often, but when I do it, I enjoy this movement. I enjoy the squeeze. You can focus way more on the squeeze. So yeah. Oh my god. last time I checked my body was exactly a week ago, also on Saturday. So this is like a week to week comparison. Like my front upper bicep has increased over the past couple of months, but my back upper bicep not so much, because I literally don't know how to do it. My arms are not in a straight line. Sometimes I do like this or like this, or my elbows are too much to the back, too much to the front. I just don't know how to do it, but I'm happy to say that I'm pretty happy with the shape. I'm in peak bulk and still have visible abs, which is crazy. My chest also looking fuller, shoulders. I know I'm glazing myself right now, but this is progression for me. Yeah, because I used to be a really skinny kid, like more of skinny fat, and now, like, you see the striations on my chest. That's something I have worked for very hard over the last year. So yeah, this is without posing and a pump and a little bit of lightning. This is then tensed, flexed like this. Yeah, I know I'm just yapping, but I'm really happy with the progress I'm making. Currently weighing 74 kilograms morning weight. So before breakfast, before putting on clothes. Started the bulk at 67. I know 67 not for the meme, but I started exactly like 67 kilos. So I'll put up 7 kilograms in about 2 months, I think. So just a little bit less than 1 kilogram a week. So very happy with the progress. Don't think I'm gonna do after talk because the video will be long enough already. I want to thank you guys for watching, sticking with me. Let's keep bulking, let's keep pushing. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.